Oh, savage. Well, hold on. She brought this on herself. It backfired on her. She was all cocky. You were going to go have surgery. She knew you were going to be down. Oh, you're going to have a broken leg. So I want to go bowling and you can't go. But I want another man to take me. What kind of stuff is that?
Ex-wife's open marriage request backfired on her. She didn't state any rules. I replaced her with better. My ex-wife is eating her heart out. Her stepsister proved that she wanted me more than my ex-wife did and even cared about me more. She got upset that I replaced her with her stepsister after she begged me for an open marriage. I accepted. I just had surgery and was down for 30 days. My ex-wife was dealing with some married guy, I discovered later, and he dropped her like a sack of potatoes. Her stepsister nursed me. Those 30 days I developed some cold during the first week as well. She was living with us until she could move into her newly built home. Her sister is a realtor and does great here in Arizona. At 32 years old, I had a knee replacement. I'd been an athlete my entire life. I've injured my right knee countless times in my life, and it basically was bone on bone at that point before surgery. My knee gave out while standing on top of a roof, part of a hospital building. I was 17 feet above the ground, and I fell off of the roof. I didn't break anything, but it was time to take care of this knee. It all happened so fast. I remember thinking of staying away from the edge of the building. I was in a deep conversation with one of the workers at this hospital. I was expecting some mechanical equipment, and I was just talking. I saw that he put his leg up on the parapet, kind of supporting himself and leaning just a little bit on the edge. My dumb self, not even thinking, did the same exact thing, but I used the leg with the very bad knee. I had my brace on and everything, but just how I had it bent, and I was leaning on it. It gave out on me. It happened so fast. I remember going over and then smacking the ground on my back. The two people that were on the roof started yelling, "Are you okay? We're calling the ambulance." I leaned up quickly and I yelled to him, "I'm fine, but my knee is hurting a little bit." I didn't hurt my knee, but just me putting that pressure on it just made it give out. I guess it could have been worse. I could have fell when we were higher up on the building, even though I wasn't leaning on the parapet. I don't know, I even climbed up ladders that day, but my knee gave out on me on the roof. I called my ex-wife and she told me I needed to go through with the surgery and stop playing around. She was right, this could have cost me everything. Man, I could have been paralyzed falling off that roof. The doctor was telling me, luckily, I am very athletic. Being so athletic actually saved my life. She said anyone else probably would have broken something. Also, luckily, I didn't land on my head. I probably would have broken my neck. After that incident, I did have my surgery scheduled, and eventually I went in and had the surgery. At the time before having the surgery, my ex-wife and I did have some arguments here and there. She was just starting to act really different, complaining a lot. My grandfather used to always tell me, if your wife starts complaining, you need to be concerned because there's another man lurking around somewhere. My ex-wife and I had been married for 5 years at the time. Her stepsister moved in with us. She was getting a house built in Scottsdale. Her sister is loaded and one of the sweetest women I've ever met in my life. They grew up together. My ex-wife Charlotte was raised by her father. Her mother left her life when she was 12 years old, I believe. She gave up her custody of her to go pursue a career as a Hollywood actress. Her mother actually appeared in some type of Disney cartoon as a child, her voice. She'd always wanted to be an actress, but when she got pregnant, it kind of staggered her growth and she couldn't perfect her craft to be like Meryl Streep. Those were her mother's words. She stayed home and tried to raise my ex-wife while her husband worked but got sick of it and had the opportunity to be in a movie. My ex-wife always cries when telling the story because she said the movie was for her to be an extra. She chose being an extra in the movie over being a mother. This woman gave up her rights to Charlotte, and Charlotte's father raised her. When Charlotte was 15 years old, her father met a woman that had kids already, which is her sister, Meredith, and stepbrother, Jock. They're twins, all three siblings or step-siblings are the same ages. Jock is a very standoffish guy, and he keeps to himself. No one ever speaks to him, but I will say, her stepsister and stepbrother do very well for themselves. Their mother did a good job raising them. Charlotte and Meredith weren't super close, but I guess close enough to the point where I was seeing her pretty often. Now I don't think Meredith always had the hots for me or anything. It's just something about those 30 days of her being there for me and her learning about what Charlotte has done to me. Also learning about the open marriage that Charlotte requested. It just grew us closer together. I don't feel like I cheated because Charlotte wanted an open marriage. Of course, she didn't say that I couldn't be with her sister, or maybe that is a given rule, but it happened. She knew her sister was there to nurture me and take care of me. She didn't care because she was too busy with the doctor. At first, I didn't know anything about who she was dealing with. She told me that she was simply just going on dates. Just thinking about this, it's all so stupid. Even with my recovery, I should have divorced her right away. Just dumb. I was a fool for doing it. I'll admit that. So, Meredith was living with us. She knew I was going to have the surgery, but she didn't know that Charlotte and I had a conversation about an open marriage. So one night after dinner, Charlotte and I are in the bed and we're kind of bickering back and forth. Like I said, we had been bickering. This was before my surgery. Days before, Charlotte tells me that she thinks that it'll be beneficial for us to open our marriage. She's read a couple books on it, and it's helped a lot of people. I told her she was out of her mind. You want to sleep with other people? That's not going to better the marriage. That's going to drive us apart. She told me open marriage doesn't mean having sex with other people. It means just having friends of the opposite sex. That's still an open marriage. I told her that was bullcrap. She made it up, or whoever told her that is full of it. I told her you couldn't wait until after my surgery to bring something up like this. Do you want me to go under the knife stressed out? She looked at me and said, we have been having issues. We barely go on dates. You rarely compliment me. Whenever I want to spend money, you tell me I'm being greedy. I just need an escape, that's all. I don't want to go have sex with anyone else, but I do miss going on dates. You're about to have the surgery, which means it's going to take even longer for us to have a date. I don't want to sit and have dinner with candles and soft music. I want to go to the movies. I want to go out to dinner. I want to go on a hike. It looks like you're not going to be able to do that for quite some time. I want to go dancing and skating. Oh my gosh, bowling. Do you realize how long it's been since I bowled? Remember when we first met, I told you that I love bowling. Just let me enjoy these moments. When you heal back up, then we'll talk about closing it. I just want to go have fun. Not with my girlfriends, but with the male's attention. I said, then go out with your cousins, your male cousins, or your stepbrother. Heck, even your father. She looked at me and said, it's not the same. I couldn't believe she was asking me this. Guys, surgery was something I put off because I was terrified of it. Being put to sleep and going under the knife is just terrifying to me. I agreed to this open marriage. I think if I wasn't having surgery, I would have never agreed to this. This isn't something I would want to do, but I didn't want to stress myself out. I just wanted to forget about it. So, to get her to shut up, I said, okay, let's do it. A day before my surgery, Charlotte tells me that she can't take me to the hospital, and she's talked to her sister already. Her sister can easily take off time from work and take me to the hospital, whilst also making sure I get back home when it's time for me to come home. I just looked at Charlotte and I said, okay. I ended up texting Meredith, even though we were in the same house. She came to my room and I asked her if it was okay. And she said, yeah, I already talked to Charlotte and there's no problem for me to help. I got you. Don't worry. She smiled. I smiled. but I didn't think anything of it. As far as us getting together, I just thought, hey, I got somebody that's going to look out for me. Most of my family are back in Illinois. I wasn't going to call a family member to fly out a day before to come take me into surgery when I had someone there that could do it. Early morning, Meredith took me in. It was wonderful. We had all types of conversations. She told me about her and Charlotte growing up and how they used to beat up on Jock and make him sit in for tea parties and do all types of girly stuff. She told me how she always looked at Charlotte's father as her father, how he was a good influence on her and Jock. Anyway, I saw her out in the lobby before heading in, and she stayed there the entire day. I think she said she went and had lunch, and she did also run some errands, but she wanted to keep herself available just in case she needed to rush back for anything. Initially, I was supposed to stay in the hospital for 1 day, but the doctor decided 2 days would make sense after the surgery. I spoke with Meredith when I was able to speak and see someone. She was there, and I asked her if she went home and got some sleep. She told me no. I've been here. I told her actually, I demanded her. You go home right now and you get some sleep. I'm fine. You can call this number or I'll call you if I need you. I'll let you know when they're going to let me out of here. You go get some rest. Enjoy this time off. Meredith didn't want to leave me. She said it's fine. She can sleep in the room with me. There was an extra bed. I'll pull out a couch. I told her that thing looks like it's very uncomfortable and I'm not going to make you do that. Besides, your sister should be here with me, not you. Go home, please. Meredith went back home, and she stayed until I called her to come back. The doctors were asking me if I had anyone that was going to care for me at home at the time. I thought it was going to be Charlotte, my wife. That turned out to be a negative. They needed her to come up to the hospital to explain what needed to happen to care for me. Guess who was not available? Yep, you guessed it. Charlotte. Meredith came up and said that she can take off work. It's nothing for her to do so, and she would take care of me. I told her I would pay her. She didn't have to take off work. I'll hire a nurse and everything. Meredith refused. She said, you're not going to hire a nurse when I'm here. I'll do it. It's fine. I'll cook and I'll clean. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. I was so happy to have someone. When she wheeled me outside, Jock was there. Meredith called him to come pick us up. He was a bit stronger, so he could help me get into the car. I was so thankful for them. I still hadn't seen my wife. We get home and I get all set up in the bed. I was starving. I refused to eat that hospital food. It was disgusting. My energy was fueling off of Jell-O and milk. I wanted a meal, so bad, once I got settled. Meredith went to the kitchen and cooked me breakfast for me and Jock. Later that day, around 6 p.m., Charlotte came home. She had gotten home from work. It's like she completely forgot that I had surgery. I could hear her screaming, Honey, where are you? She finally got into the bedroom and said, oh my gosh, you don't hear me screaming for you? I just stared at her. She looked at me for like 3 seconds before she realized, oh my gosh, you're back from surgery. I said, yes. You forgot that I had surgery? She said no. She didn't forget. I'd just been super busy with working. At lunch, I had a little date. I hung out with a friend from school. I stopped her. I didn't want to hear anymore. I still, at this point, did not want to be stressed out anymore about that open marriage situation. She said, I'm sorry, honey. I 100% knew you had surgery. It just slipped my mind. Well, I'm sure you need the bed to yourself. I'd hate to roll over and hurt you. I'll sleep in the guest room. Do you need me to get anything? You want some water? I said no. Meredith has been taking great care of me. Charlotte says, good. At least she's good for something just sitting around here until her nice, beautiful home gets built anyway. I'll be in the other room. I got some emails to read. Yell if you need me. That's what I said once this crap heals up. I'm going to divorce her. I just didn't feel like going through all that right now, calling a lawyer when I can barely get out of bed. Have him come here to my place, put Charlotte in a position to be angry and possibly hurt me while I'm down for the count. I guess that was just my survival instinct speaking, but I wasn't willing to go through any of that while I was down during those 30 days. Charlotte started staying away, telling me that she was staying with a friend or she was going to her mom's house because her mother needed help. She was helping out, just dumb excuses, and this whole time she's telling me that she has one friend that she knows from school. They didn't have sex, but they do hang out every once in a while. It's very innocent. Not a single kiss was exchanged. That my friend was a complete lie. Charlotte was seeing a doctor who lived in our same neighborhood. He was a married man with kids. Meredith gave me Charlotte's laptop after I told her how her sister wanted an open marriage, and she told me about this right before my surgery. Meredith was pissed off and told me she could almost guarantee me that she had been cheating on me. When she gave me the laptop, we discovered that she's seeing the doctor that lives in our neighborhood. And first, initially, when I saw the name, I didn't think it was him. But when I saw the last name, I knew exactly who that was. And we looked up his LinkedIn and everything. And sure enough, it was him. This man has been sleeping with my wife. How I know they were sleeping together? Because I saw the messages. You don't just get hotel rooms to knit sweaters. Meredith was there for me. She comforted me. She kept me calm. She wanted me to heal and get better. She told me not to stress about it. I didn't. By day 17, Meredith was hanging out with me all around the house and in bed watching TV. Meredith helped bath me, fed me, and pleased me sexually. When she went down on me day 17, after surgery, it was official. We were going to be a thing. Meredith told me she'd fell in love with me. She doesn't know how it's possible to do so quickly, or even how her family will react to this, but she wanted to be with me, and she asked me if I could move into her home with her. Charlotte and I had a nice home in a nice upscale Scottsdale neighborhood, but we didn't own it. We were renting it from, coincidentally, a doctor that moved to Seattle. We were to renew the lease in 3 months. On day 28 after my surgery, Charlotte came home after work and found Meredith in our bed sleeping with me. We fell asleep watching a movie. Charlotte started screaming. "What the F are you doing in my bed, you bish?" Meredith had her arm around me. I woke up and I said, "Don't talk to her like that." Ex-wife looked at me and said, "What? Are you kidding me? I'm your wife. That is my sister. That is very inappropriate for you two to be sleeping like that." I told Charlotte that we were in an open marriage, one that she wanted. She requested this. I'm not questioning you about the doctor that you're sleeping with. You know, Dr. Smith. Yeah, I know all about it. So, you can move on with him, that's fine. Charlotte says, "Wait, you've been sleeping with my sister? Are you freaking crazy? This is my sister. When I said open marriage, I didn't mean that you should be with my family members. And Meredith, wait until I tell your mom what you've been doing with my husband. Get the F out of my bed right now." Meredith left and went into the other room. I told Charlotte that I've spoken to a lawyer and we are getting a divorce. Charlotte begged me to not move forward with the divorce and demanded we close the marriage. By day 28, I could walk just fine. I just had a limp. Heck, I was walking 2 days after surgery. Just not as much, mainly because of fear. Once I got comfortable, Meredith drove me down to a law firm to meet with my lawyer. When Charlotte got served divorce papers, she flipped the heck out, threatening to beat up Meredith, begging me to not replace her with her sister, saying I can have anyone else, but not the person that always stole attention away from her. Eventually, Charlotte and I did get a divorce, and I did move in with Meredith. It's been 2.5 years since my divorce was finalized with Charlotte, and I am here to say I do plan on marrying Meredith. We are already engaged. Also, she's pregnant. I love Meredith. We have an inside joke. I initially chose the wrong sister. Some of you may think this is weird, but we're happy family is not too torn up about it, actually. As far as Charlotte and that doctor, he dropped her like a sack of potatoes. Meredith got in contact with that doctor's wife, and she told her everything. We had so much information on Charlotte, so much evidence, the doctor couldn't deny it. His wife was a stay-at-home mom. She could have taken him to the cleaners. He's currently right now back with his family, and I'm sure he's doing everything to stay in her good graces. He is not dealing with Charlotte anymore. I do know Charlotte moved to a small apartment in a pretty bad neighborhood. She's trying to get her credit together to buy a home, but not here in Arizona. Apparently, she wants to move to Nashville, away from everyone and start a new life. Well, that's my story. Thanks for accepting my email. Hopefully you could read it on your channel. I'd like to leave lessons with my email and hopefully these are helpful. If she asks for an open marriage, make her single. That is all. Take care.
She deserved what she got. You pulled a savage move. I like it. Look, first off, guys, Happy New Year. 2025. Happy New Year to everybody listening. Happy New Year to you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Man. What did she not, how did she not know that this sister probably would have fallen? Well, I guess she's thinking, well, this is my sister. She's not going to want to sleep with my husband or be with my husband. I mean, she's nurturing him. And you allowed it. You actually suggested this. You asked your husband for an open marriage, told your sister to basically be his wife, and you're shocked that he replaced you with your sister. Come on, man. Not very smart, are you? Look, OP, thanks for sending in this story. Guys, we have many, many stories. Oh, man, I'm trying to think if I want to take a vacation. Take a vacation before I dive into these. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Oh. I'm gonna catch you guys at the next one. If you want to send in a story, send it to truestorynation@gmail.com. Here, I'll put it on the screen. That is truestorynation@gmail.com. I'm gonna catch you guys at the next one.